Hello, Ravens fans, and welcome to another season preview. I'm Aaron Schneider, the Sports Information Director at Anderson University, and joining us for our head football coach, Steve Rock. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Aaron. Thank you.
All right, good. So first, to kick things off, we're coming off a 1-4 season. We had a big win against Manchester last year, getting the bronze ball back for the first time in about a decade. So first, tell us a little bit about what your goals and expectations are for this year.
Great, Aaron. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you and kind of talk a little bit about our squad. Kind of our goals and expectations never change. We're really trying to be the best football team we could possibly be, and win as many ball games as we can, and become better people, and that type of thing. So that always stands. That'll be my answer from here forward. We love to win, but there are other things that are important in life, and we're working toward those things as well. So thankful for that. But the great news is we've got a good group of guys here that are starting to understand what it takes to win. The spring was tough just from a number standpoint. So that 1-4 doesn't sound good, but the guys that are returning, they get it, because the actual last season that we got to play, we were 3-7, which hadn't been 3-7 around here in a long time. So we're, again, feel like we're making progress. The older guys in the system now absolutely know what our objectives are and the way we're going to get there. So very excited about this group. So going to go out and do the best we possibly can, and keep building this thing.
And I think I got a follow-up here that I'm sure you've got some answer for. What is particularly for our older players, as they, where we've grown, but where, as we talk about figuring out how to win, what do you think their their progression has been?
Really, it's a lot about understanding team discipline and learning to play for the guy next to you, doing your best so that your teammate can have success. And if we get the whole crew doing that, and we're all looking out for someone else's best interest while we're doing the best we can, we're all going to end up reaping the benefits of success and that type of thing. So our guys understand that concept now. Still not fully, but a lot of them fully understand. But we're bringing the other guys along. We're out of the business now of guys just being completely against what we're trying to achieve. So that's a great thing for us as a program.
All right. So now, what would you say your team's strengths are?
I'd say our strengths right now lie in our skill positions. From that standpoint, returning quarterback who has done a phenomenal job and has a chance to set some real records around here. A receiving core that's really deep, that works really hard and is as athletic as anybody we play. So we feel like we can do some things with those guys that give us some real opportunities. And then obviously in the backfield, we're doing well there. Got a great returning guy there that's doing good work so far. We had a scrimmage yesterday, went well, and so Reggie's who that person is doing great. So we've got a bunch of guys skill position wise. On defense, we returned a couple of guys that did a nice job there, that have made real good progress in the off season and coming in and taking on some leadership roles, which is one of the other things that I think is key to us now, is that we've got enough older guys in the program that we're starting to get some player-led leadership, which is going to be really important to us. Coaches can lead, but players have to lead each other. And that's a big key to getting things turned around in your program. And we're there now, where we've got some guys that can take those things on.
Okay, and then looking at our offensive skill positions, we've got a lot of talent coming back. We've got James Tucker, first team all conference last year, made all region. Zach Talent, who's been first team before. Tyson Harley, quarterback, multiple all conference, was HCAC freshman of the year his first year. Reggie Lipscomb, multiple years as well. So I mean, a lot there, but talk a little bit about that, and then some of the people that might surprise some people and pop this year.
Sure. Well, that group that you mentioned is a real special group. Those guys have been in the program now for a while, and they're dependable. They're people that we can count on. They're guys that we know are going to go out and give everything they got, and that type of thing on game day. Some of them are still learning how to work in the off season and get where they need to be. And some of them, in my mind, I'm excited about that because that means they got a little more in the tank, and we can, continue to help them understand that process. And then in the summer, they can put in a little more time so that when camp starts, they come in 100% ready to go. So we're excited about those guys doing great things going forward in the program. Another guy that I'd like to mention is Dean Foundos, who's been a phenomenal, leader. And, he's going to basically pop back over now and play on the offensive side and play tight end for us. He's also got some reps at quarterback, kind of because that's kind of his history, and helps us with some older depth there, which is really good for us as a program. Logan Beard's another guy that's been doing a great job from a leadership standpoint, and not only leading himself and becoming a better football player himself, but being motivator for guys on our team. So we're excited about Logan playing tight end and doing a great job for us there. Cade Bechtold is a guy that during camp here, he looks like he's made some improvements in the off season, and those kind of things. So we're hopeful that we can, factor him in more so into the offense and do a great job there. And then really Zach is, Zach's one of our mainstay guys, and he and James, long timers, doing a great job, and very, very excited about everything that they do and everything they bring to practice. Both of them are tenacious dudes and always want to compete. So that's awesome. JP Fox, a young guy, comes in, does a nice job, and really was working toward having some opportunities to play early in a really deep skill position area. But sadly had an injury that's made it difficult for him moving forward this year. But man, we're really excited about him in the future. So I had a transfer guy come in that is an older guy that's done a phenomenal job in leadership and athletic skill wise, is really good. His name's Michael Ferraro. And again, some of his leadership qualities off the field and just his maturity coming in is really great for this group of guys. So I hope I haven't left anybody out there, but another guy I want to really mention of the young guys that's done a great job is Caleb Brown. And we're really excited about him. He becomes a big target, which is something that we've needed, a little bit of size out there on the outside to help us, in some of those jump ball situations and that kind of thing. So, and then, obviously Tyson is no surprise there, but really excited about seeing him with another year behind him.
Okay, so now we get into our offensive line next. Is actually for what we're bringing back is actually pretty veteran at the top. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. Well, we start with Alex Parra. He's kind of been a multi-year all conference guy and gets the most out of himself in every practice and everything that he does. Really good leadership qualities. He's earned an opportunity to be a captain again. And then another guy on the offensive line has been really kind of a consistent guy, and again has grown into that leadership type role. And that's Troy Hicks, and Troy is also a captain for us. So that's pretty unique that you have two O-line guys as captains, but we really think that's important, and both of those guys have earned that, and they live it every day. So we're thankful for that. Dane Crenshaw returns, just a really solid offensive line guy and a good leader in a different way, and he's an aggressive player. So we love that about Dane. And then we've got a young guy that comes in and is going to play a little tackle for us, and Andres Mallow, and he's doing just a phenomenal job as a young guy. We'll have some growing pains, but we're willing to work with him his upside is huge. And then we got another returning guy, Drew DeBoer, who was with us 2 years ago, actually, and has came back, and he's come in and done a nice job and trying to get up to speed again. And, taking a year off of football is tough, making the comeback, but he's getting there. So, and then we've got another guy by the name of Ben Gaston, who has helped us out quite a bit in the past. Big things coming for Ben. Ben's overcoming an injury right now. So at some point, we really think he's going to factor in as well on that offensive line.
Okay, now going into a little bit on the defensive side of the ball, we saw some pretty good. We saw some pretty good games out of Jawan Coney and Tristan Chambers. Number of players that can make an impact on the defensive line. Tell a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jawan is coming in really, really good shape. He kind of changed his body a little bit in a great way. It's going to give him a little more speed off the edge and that type of thing. He's also obviously made big improvements in his strength, and he's just a great guy to have around the program, and goes hard and has a lot of fun playing the game. You mentioned Tristan Chambers. Tristan was decided on that he would be a captain as well. He's a quiet hard working guy that has high expectations for those guys up front. So he is that coach on the field that basically when any of them give less than a great effort, he's going to be the guy that's, hey, let's go, let's get it going, And so he doesn't say a lot, but that's what he says, and he does a great job and has a lot of fun playing football. So that's inspiring out there for everybody. Then we've got a couple other guys that are going to make a big impact for us. Brandon Goodman, who's done a nice job in the offseason, always works hard in the offseason. We'd love to see him put on a little more weight and get a little more strong, but he's getting there. And then Ross Watson returns as a guy that did a nice job up front for us, and he's continuing to get better each day. Gabe Lawler is another guy that's really a guy we're counting on to do a great job. And he's a flexible player, so we can play him inside, play him on the outside, whatever it may be. And then we got a couple of young guys come in, Connor Huffman, who's doing a phenomenal job during camp and will play significant amount. It looks like, at this point, he's doing well. Jacob Filbrin is a returning guy who had a year away, but is coming back and playing his final season, and he's going to do a great job for us. And really, really a great group of guys right there. So we're excited about them.
Okay. Now, if we go into our linebacking core, we had Juan Carlos Ramirez with a pretty great season last year, and then some other guys with some pretty good numbers as well.
Yeah, Juan Carlos, and he's done a nice job in the off season and came into camp in really good shape, and just can run things down, which is awesome from that will position. And play him a little bit at Sam. Both, really he's versatile. He can play both positions. So we're still sorting through exactly where we're going to use him. But definitely Juan Carlos is the guy we're counting on. The other guys that have come in there have done a nice job. Is Colin McCaffrey at the Mike linebacker spot. He's built for that, and we're excited about him and what he can do. He's fighting through some nagging injuries and that kind of thing right now, but he's got a great attitude. He's another guy that decided in the offseason, hey, I need to change some things about how, who I am physically and what I'm going to become. And he's such a hard worker. He did that, and we're excited to get him back to, full go, and we'll be in good shape there. And then, another guy that comes down is we're kind of roll Sam Fiola down a little bit and have him play a little bit of Will, maybe a little bit of Sam. He's another versatile guy. He and Colin are also captains on the defense because of their leadership and just the way they play the game and carry themselves off the field and those kind of things, which is, key for us. We got a guy coming back by the name of Jace Beckman, who did a nice job for us here before. And he's just a solid fill-in kind of guy. You throw him in the game, you know what you're going to get out of him, and that's awesome. Some really good young guys. And again, we're just developing those guys as they come. But the young guys have the benefit of playing behind some veteran guys there that are going to really help them grow in a quick way and stick in our system.
Absolutely. Now going into our secondary, but tell us a little bit more about that.
We're pretty young back there. With rolling Sam Fiola down a little bit, it takes a little bit of our experience out of the area, but that's okay. We'll make it happen. We got a phenomenal group of young athletic guys in the secondary, but a returning guy that I want to mention who's done a nice job in the offseason and is working through some things and trying to be a factor is Alex Lackabu. He's been there's a 4-year guy for us, and comes in and works hard, and drives some people crazy because he goes so hard at practice, which I love. I'd take a bunch of dudes like that, and we're learning to get that way as a team. But Alex does that and sets a great example of that now. So we're excited to see what Alex can do. But really, our young guys that are standing out right now. Is we've got a baseball guy that came out for the team that we originally recruited from football, but Jose Olivo, he's doing a great job at safety. Another young guy is Aiden Roach, who we think is going to be a young guy that's going to make a big contribution back there in the safety role. And Ison Moss is doing a nice job, another young guy. And then at corner, Demarion Walker, young guy, has come in doing a nice job. A returning guy that's always solid and we can count on is Trey Staley. So those guys working together, same side of the ball. Javante Malone is a young guy that's come in, done a nice job at corner. Really excited about him. Ted Lamson is a returning guy who's kind of bounced around. He's just a super athletic kid that we're trying to find out how in the world can we get him factored into our system and him have some fun playing football. So, but outside of that, we've got a great group of guys returning there. I know I'm not naming some guys, but that doesn't mean I don't have regard for them and that they're good players. It's just hard in these interviews to get everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think they understand and they know, how we've conducted camp, that they're factors and they're going to be an important part of what we do going forward.
And then real quick on your special teams.
So special teams is really tough right now, but we're working through it. We didn't have much success when it come to recruiting from a kicker punter standpoint. So we've done some local recruiting and some guys have seen kind of what we're doing and they're in the process right now of going through their first camp and a lot of learning experience and that type of thing. A guy by the name of Caleb Oliver is coming over from the soccer team, and he's going to take care of punting and kickoff duties for us, and probably kicking extra points and that kind of thing. Dean Foundos is a standard guy. We can fall back to Dean because being very athletic and he can do some of those things. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's not factored in there as well. And then we got a guy by the name of Johnny Parker, who is a backup quarterback for us, but also a long snapper. And he really worked his craft in the offseason and definitely gotten better there. So that's going to be beneficial dealing with a whole new crew of young guys when it comes to kicking and punting.
Okay, so now we open the season with a Friday night game. We're on the road against Hope College. What are you looking at as far as the Hope game, as far as what they're going to bring?
Yeah, the Hope game is going to be really interesting. They're a phenomenal program. They were picked number 2 in their conference, in a really strong conference. So they're a really, really good ball club, comparable to playing one of the top 2 teams in our conference, if not maybe even a little better, from their conference history. So real big team, stout team. They're physical. It's going to be rough, but we're going to take a bunch of young, fast, athletic guys in there and see what we can do with them, and I'm not concerned about our physical. Our guys will play physical. We're an aggressive team. So those things will be great. It's just they've got a lot of experience and they're returning a good group of guys. So it's going to be tough going in there, but we're going to make the trip up and we're going to give it our best go. And they're a playoff level team. So we know we got our work cut out for us.
Okay, and then finally, what does your team need to do this year to be successful?
I truly think that we have to continue the process of learning to stick together in tough times. because we're going to face tough times in the game of football. Every team, regardless of whether you're a championship squad or not, faces some tough times, whether it be injuries, whether it be things not going well on your side of the ball, that kind of thing. We got to continue to learn to stick together and fight through those tough times. And really, in my mind, from a skill position standpoint, our guys are pretty good. And we really got to get production out of our offensive line and defensive lines. If we can take care of things in the trenches somehow, some way, and continue to get better there, that's going to help our team tremendously, because again, I feel really good about all of our skilled positions, both on offense and defense.
All right. Well, I think I've covered the questions I wanted to. Ravens fans, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow along with any more season previews or any more content we put out on YouTube. Of course, cheer on your Ravens as they compete at Hope on Friday. And then Coach Rock, thanks again for joining us, and good luck this year.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate everything you do. Do a phenomenal job for us.
Thank you.